Gemini, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. So I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All that good stuff really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. All right, so let's see what's going on for the next 7 to 10 days for all of my Geminis. You know, I get that things might be a little tough, but hang in there, all right? And I don't know what that's about, but let's see. We have the Five of Wands coming out with the Five of Cups. All right, so a change is definitely needed, all right? And I think this is where I was getting things are a little tough. Nine of Wands is sitting here above you, and it is reversed. You know, there may be a need for you to, you know, just kind of cut your losses in a situation and move on so that you can lighten up whatever it is that's going on. Now, we do have the Wheel of Fortune coming in reverse. So I feel as if, you know, maybe you are preparing for some tough times. Maybe you know intuitively, you know, that, you know, you might have to make your money stretch because it'll be a while before we get the next paycheck, that kind of thing. I just feel as if, you know, you are preparing yourself for what needs to change, all right? Because we have two fives here on the table. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Five of Cups, right? Now, if you want things to change, you know, and part of it could be even how you feel about yourself. Like, you know, it's like you're going to have to get yourself out there. How do you feel about that? I don't know how I really feel about it, put myself out there. Because the Five of Cups doesn't give you a lot of confidence. But the Five of Wands says, man, you've got to put yourself out there. You know, you've got to, you know, sell yourself like everyone else is going to sell themselves. If you want to get a job, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to really find, you know, that confidence and that backbone to make yourself shine above the others, right? So that's for someone out there. I mean, I'm just feeling like, you know, there's this defeated kind of energy that you've got going on right now. Six of Wands here also reversed. You know, so yeah, when times are tough, it's hard to be positive, right? When times are tough, oops, this card wanted to come out. We have the Eight of Pentacles wanted to show itself. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just feel like when times are really tough, this is when we have to get tougher and we have to really dig deep. And that means, you know, we're going to have to cut some things out, all right? And we might have to let go of some things that we've been hanging on to, hoping that, you know, this would be the one thing that I don't have to let go of. But I also feel as if, you know, when it comes to the Five of Cups, you know, we talk about relationships and things that we are attached to or we really love. At the base of what's going on here, we have the Hierophant. You know, so there's, you know, things about your relationships that, you know, again, hold you back, you know, and I think you have to find, you know, positivity in what really matters. We have you coming up as the King of Swords here in the recent past. Again, I get this negative thinking, well, I'll never be able to do that. Well, you know, I'm too old for that. Or I've never, you know, tried to do anything like that. So, no, I'm never, you know, it's almost like the self-defeating kind of talk that you have with yourself. Especially with this Five of Cups. You know, you're an air sign. So I'm assuming that this is the King of Swords is your energy. And, you know, you're smarter than that. I mean, this is the King of Swords. This is somebody who's brilliant. They're well read, well studied. You're a pro at whatever it is that you do. So now that what? Maybe you're retired and now you don't know what to do, or now you don't have that job anymore and now you don't know really what to do anymore. I mean, this is a good time for you to kind of look back and reinvent yourself. Because I feel there's another dream that you totally forgot that you wanted to do, because here we have the Two of Wands, all right? So you're in this place where it's okay. You know, things have been all right, but you have a better idea, right? And it's outside this window. It's outside this house. It's outside of this life that you have. But that would require you having to put yourself out there. And I don't know how confident you are about doing that right now. So you are your own worst enemy when it comes to, you know, making the change that you need. Because here you have the ability to make some changes that would open up your world. But if you keep talking about yourself in a negative way, I mean, and then this card wanted to flip out, all right? Well, let's not forget the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, you know, this is a card of an apprentice. This is you maybe going and doing something you always wanted to do. Oh, I always wanted to go to Paris and paint with, you know, whatever. You know, oh, I always wanted to do this. Oh, I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to go and study with this. You know, and it could be even something doing with the profession that you're in. You know, now the Eight of Pentacles says, well, let's go do it. Let's go get to work. Let's start doing this. And again, you know, that could also be, you know, you wanting to make this decision, you know, to move in another direction, you know, get another career, do something you always really wanted to do. I mean, you have this amazing idea. I mean, look at this Ace of Swords. But you have to, you know, have the courage and the strength, you know, and believe that you can make all these changes. Now, your final outcome, very interesting here, is the Sun card. Look how happy you are. You are, you know, the only one that's keeping you from being able to do these things that you want to do is you. All right, Four of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. Oh, I don't know whether I can really afford to, you know, move in another direction. I don't know if I really want to do that. You know, there's reasons why I can't do that. You know, what will happen if I took off for 6 weeks? Who would take care of the plants? You hire people to do that. Yeah, somebody you know to do that, your neighbor, somebody, you know. You know, you don't worry about that. You just don't. So yeah, this week I feel like for you, Gemini, it's really about you trying to figure out how to get out of this funk. If you've had a bad run of luck and right now, you know, the wheels are spinning, trying to figure out how am I going to get through all of this? You know, and there's things you know you can do, but it would require you putting yourself out there, and I'm not really sure that would work out. But God, I've got this really, really great idea, and I'd love to really get out there and do it. But the lack of self-confidence, you know, or the lack of, you know, being able to pull it off, or finding all of the distractions to keep you from doing that, that's very Chariot kind of energy, you know, because the Chariot wants you to move forward, even though we don't see it here. It's coming through, but the Chariot's riddled with distraction. I want to go down this road. I want to make this decision. I want to go down this road. But then all the reasons why you can't go down that road kind of appear. And these two cards are saying, you know, maybe we need to, you know, find a way to put ourselves out there. So yeah, and I feel like your spirit's calling you to go up this road. And you have this really, really great idea, whether it's inspirational or something you've always wanted to do, or out of nowhere you've had this thought, something's really bothering you. You really want to, you know, see if you can create it, make it, you know, into this real life and ground it into reality. I see you very happy. Okay, I see you very, very happy if you get the opportunity to do what you really want to do right now. And quit second guess what it is. You know, you're good at what you did. You've got the experience. You've been around the block. I mean, gosh, we sure know that with the Nine of Wands. You know, but if you've gotten to the point where you've reached the end of the road and your life needs to shift and change, and you're going to continue to hang on, you know, where you're not happy, where you're not, you know, I mean, the King of Swords is not a happy person. And when they're not happy, they're grumpy. And when they're grumpy, you know, everybody suffers, you know, because who wants to deal with the grumpy Gemini? And the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, it's almost like you talk yourself into, you know, holding you into this negative space, and you've got to shift out of it. You've got to open up, you know, to the possibilities that, you know, there's other things that you can do with the gifts, the talents that you have. Anyway, that's what I've got for you, Gemini. Please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in this story. Sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Blink right there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. All right, until the next reading, be well. Bye now.